Okay, so I'm in the house for this video, so hopefully the audio and the lighting is okay, not too echoey here in the kitchen. So I'm going to talk to you about moving to the Octopus Energy GO Tariff and configuring my Tesla Powerwall for off-peak charging. So I mentioned it a few times now, and thanks to everybody that's so far signed up to Octopus Energy via my link. So we both get £50. Link in the description if you are looking to move to a new energy provider. So I've been with Octopus now for just over a month. Everything's working really well so far, touch wood. And one of the things that I've had done is I've had them install a new smart meter. So in the UK, we're kind of still waiting for these next generation smart meters that will work with any provider. The smart meter I had in my house was only configured to use with Eon, so I had to get a new smart meter so that it would work with Octopus for an economy tariff. So I didn't need this unless I wanted the economy tariff. So last Thursday, the meter was installed. And this morning when I woke up, I had an email to say that I'm ready to switch to the Go tariff. So the Go tariff is basically like an EV tariff. So if you're in the UK, you may be familiar with Economy 7. That means that there's a night rate, typically between midnight and 7 o'clock, that you have kind of off-peak electricity. And this is basically Economy 4. So from midnight to 4:30 in the morning, electricity will be 5 pence per kilowatt. So it's almost like a third cheaper. So obviously that means if you have an electric vehicle, you can charge it up over that night time a lot cheaper. And what I'm going to do is look to put some energy into the Powerwall so that in the winter, like it is now when the Powerwall doesn't really get much power from the daylight, because most of it's being used by electric heater in the office, I can charge up the Powerwall and with cheaper cost electricity and use it during the day. So I've not done this yet, so we'll see how this works out. So going to launch the Tesla app. And we will go to customize. Actually, before we go to customize, let's look at the performance for today. 20% solar, 2% power. It really just doesn't get much in there because the 2 kilowatt heater's taking most of it. Right, so I have it right now configured to self-powered. I'm going to move to the advanced time-based control. We have basically two options. One which is cost saving, which is using the low cost power to provide electricity when it's peak power time. We have balanced, and this is basically just to store electricity until the sun goes down, basically. So I'm going to go with cost saving and try and edit this schedule. So we need to configure this so that peak time is from 4:30 AM all the way through to 12:30 AM. So let's see how we do this. So we want off peak 12:30. It's quite big fun actually taking this to. Right? Oh, no. This is a bit awkward to adjust really. It'd be better if you just tap it and put in a time. So peak, let's just start with peak time. So peak time. So it's 4:30 AM. Goes through. How do you make it? Ah, okay. to 12:30. There we go. And so then off peak is in that little slot there from 12:30 to 4:30. So that was actually pretty easy. Now weekend is going to be the same. So peak is 4:30. And then off peak is 12:30 to 4:30. Excellent. Done. So I'll check back in the morning and hopefully the Powerwall will have some energy in it. I'm not sure how it's going to decide how much to put in, but yeah, we'll start that video here and I'll come back in the morning. So at midnight tonight I will check on the little meter. Hopefully it will say that it's moved me over to the Octopus Go tariff, and then this thing will charge up on the cheap. Okay, so it's the morning now. Before I went to bed last night at midnight I did check that my account page had changed. So it says that I'm now on the Octopus Go tariff, so that should all be good. And then when I got up at 5 o'clock this morning, I checked the app, I could see that the battery was at 98%. So I'm pretty confident it had charged to 100%. And then over the half an hour or so since then, it kind of consumed a couple of percent with the basic usage of the house. Oh, I'm actually maybe thinking about the curve, which we see in a moment. Perhaps it didn't quite make it to 100% because it did taper off towards the end. So let's have a look at the app so you can see what's happened. Obviously now it's 7:30, so we've been using electricity. Obviously the house generally runs about 500 watts. Obviously board the kettle and what have you. So if we look at the app, we can see we're now down to 81%. If we look at the power flow, you'll see that's because we've got the 2 kilowatt heater on, heating up the office for the day. So again, if we have a look at the energy usage, we can see that 14.3 kilowatt hours went into the battery last night. You can see that in the off-peak section there on the left-hand side, which is pretty cool. So everything seems to be working as expected. Then if we pop to the Solar Edge app, we can see something quite interesting. So if we see here, you can see dead on 4:30, the charge completely stops as we would expect. But if you look at the beginning, it kind of ramps up. So at about 12:15, the Powerwall starts to initiate the charge, ready to be at full charging power by past. So I need to have a think about if I'm going to change that out, because obviously you can only go in half an hour increments, so I'll have to change to 1 o'clock, which means it'll be about 12:45 that the ramp up started to happen. So I need to try and work out like what is the actual cost of that ramping up over those 15 minutes and if it's worth me trying to change it or not, but it's quite interesting. The other thing I thought was interesting is it really only has a constant charge rate of 4 kilowatts. I was expecting it to be 5 kilowatts based on that's what the inverter capability is. So that's interesting as well. So the only thing that was slightly concerning is when I looked at the meter or the meter readout that came with the updated Octopus smart meter, is it still says I'm on the old tariff, and so I will contact them today to verify that it did actually move last night as the email and the website said. It's just an update kind of delay with the smart meter. But yeah, so that's basically how you can configure your Tesla Powerwall to do off-peak charging. Just keep in mind that ramp up speed, so I'm going to monitor that. And then the other thing that was quite cool, if I look at the back in here on the performance, is, where is it? is now, we obviously, before it would just be a singular performance, but now we can check peak and off peak. So that's going to be quite interesting to see kind of how things work over time. So when the EV's plugged in and charging as well, I'm assuming we'll see some more information in here about kind of total usage. But yes, we'll just see what it says for the week. Okay, that says partial peak, because obviously we only just moved to the off-peak tariff just now. So pretty cool. So I hope this video helps if you're thinking about moving to economy tariff. That's how you set things up. Like I said, just keep an eye out for that curve, and I'll try and think about what I'm going to do in terms of leaving it how it is and just having that 15 minutes of extra cost, or if I move it up to 1 o'clock so that the whole charge happens fully in off-peak charge time. Thanks for watching this video. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.